The rain was coming down in sheets as I pulled into the driveway of our house in Seattle. Or I guess her house now. The house I had poured my heart and soul, and a significant chunk of my salary as a software engineer, into for the past 15 years. The house where I thought we were building a life together, a family, a future. I cut the engine and just sat there for a minute, staring at the flickering porch light. It felt like a scene from a movie, the betrayed husband returning to the scene of the crime. Except this wasn't a movie, this was my life. And it was a disaster. My name is Jasper, 47 years old, or at least I was until a month ago. Now I feel ancient, like I've aged a decade in the span of a few weeks. It all started innocently enough, or so I thought. A missed call here, a late night at the office there. Small things that I chalked up to the pressures of Imogen's job as a marketing director for a tech startup. She was always ambitious, driven. I admired that about her. Or again, we'd been together since college, met in a philosophy class of all places. I was drawn to her sharp wit, her infectious laugh, the way she could debate anything and make you question everything. She was my intellectual equal, my best friend, my lover, or so I believed. Then came the business trips, more frequent, longer durations. A big client in San Francisco, she'd say, kissing me goodbye at the door. Gotta make a good impression. I never suspected a thing. I trusted her implicitly. Foolishly, blindly trusted her. The first crack in the facade appeared a few weeks ago. I was working from home, battling a nasty cold when her phone rang. She was in the shower, so I glanced at the screen. Lysander client meeting, it read. I didn't think anything of it, just placed the phone back on the counter. But then, a few minutes later, another notification popped up. This time, the message preview showed a heart emoji. And the name Lysander. A cold dread washed over me. I tried to dismiss it. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it was a group chat. But the seed of doubt had been planted and it began to grow, fester, consume me. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. That night after Imogen returned from work, I tried to talk to her. "Everything okay, honey?" I asked, trying to sound casual. "You seem distant lately." She brushed it off. "Just stressed, Jasper. Big presentation next week. You know how it is." She gave me a quick peck on the cheek and disappeared into the bedroom. I couldn't let it go. The feeling was eating me alive. So against my better judgment, I did something I never thought I was capable of. I waited until she was asleep, then I took her phone. I knew her passcode, her birthday. I felt like a criminal, a voyeur, violating her privacy in the most intimate way possible. But I had to know the truth. The messages were there, plain as day. A torrent of explicit texts, declarations of love, plans for secret rendezvous. "I can't stop thinking about you," one message from Lysander read. "This meeting can't end soon enough." Another from Imogen. "You make me feel alive again. Jasper doesn't understand me like you do." I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. The air was sucked out of my lungs. My vision blurred. I stumbled back, clutching the phone to my chest, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. This couldn't be real. My Imogen. My wife. The woman I loved more than anything in the world. I spent the rest of the night in a daze, pacing the living room, replaying the messages in my head, trying to reconcile the woman I thought I knew with the woman who had betrayed me so completely. By morning, I was a shell of my former self. When Imogen woke up, I confronted her. I didn't yell, didn't scream. I just showed her the phone. Her face drained of color. She didn't deny it. She couldn't. "It just happened," she stammered, her eyes welling up with tears. "I didn't mean for it to go this far." "How long?" I managed to croak out. "A few months," she admitted, her voice barely a whisper. "Since the San Francisco trip. And Lysander, he's a colleague," she said, avoiding my gaze. "A colleague you're in love with." She didn't answer. The silence spoke volumes. That was the beginning of the end. We tried to talk, to salvage something from the wreckage of our marriage. But the trust was gone, shattered beyond repair. Every word felt like a lie, every touch a betrayal. I couldn't look at her without seeing the image of her in Lysander's arms. I moved out a week later, taking only what I could fit in my car. I found a small, sterile apartment in a different part of the city. It was lonely, depressing, but it was better than living under the same roof as her, haunted by the ghosts of our past. The divorce was messy, acrimonious. Imogen wanted to keep the house, the car, everything we had built together. She claimed I was being unreasonable, that I was punishing her for a mistake. But I wasn't punishing her. I was protecting myself. I hired a lawyer, a tough, no-nonsense woman named Bronte. She was relentless, meticulous, and she fought for me every step of the way. She uncovered financial irregularities, shady dealings that Imogen had been involved in with Lysander. It turned out their affair wasn't just about love. It was about money, power, ambition. Apparently, Lysander had been using Imogen to gain access to confidential company information, insider trading stuff. Bronte presented the evidence to the authorities, and Lysander was promptly arrested. Imogen, too, faced legal trouble, though she managed to avoid jail time by cooperating with the investigation. As for Imogen and me, there was no reconciliation. The divorce was finalized a few weeks ago. She got the house, but I got a significant settlement enough to start over to rebuild my life. I don't hate her. I pity her. She threw away everything we had for a fleeting moment of passion, for a man who didn't truly love her, for a dream that turned out to be a nightmare. Now, back to the present. I'm sitting in my car, staring at the house that used to be my home. I came back to collect some of my belongings, things I couldn't bring myself to ask Imogen for. Old photographs, books, mementos of a life that no longer exists. I take a deep breath, steel myself, and get out of the car. The rain is still coming down, soaking me to the bone. I walk up to the front door, the door I had walked through countless times, filled with love and happiness. Now it feels like a portal to a different dimension, a dimension of pain and betrayal. I knock. After a few minutes, the door opens. Imogen stands there, her face pale, her eyes red and puffy. She looks like she hasn't slept in days. "Jasper," she says, her voice barely audible. "I'm here for my things," I say, trying to keep my voice steady. She nods and steps aside, allowing me to enter. The house is a mess. Clothes are strewn everywhere, dishes piled up in the sink, empty bottles of wine scattered on the coffee table. It's a stark contrast to the pristine, orderly home we used to keep. "I haven't been myself lately," she says, her voice trembling. I don't respond. I just walk through the house collecting my things. Old photo albums, a collection of first edition novels, a handmade quilt my grandmother made for me. Each item is a reminder of what I've lost. As I'm packing the last of my belongings into a box, I notice a framed photograph on the mantelpiece. It's a picture of Imogen and me, taken on our honeymoon in Italy. We're standing in front of the Trevi fountain, smiling, carefree, in love. I pick it up and stare at it for a long moment. "It feels like a lifetime ago. Do you remember this?" I ask, turning to Imogen. She nods, tears streaming down her face. "We were so happy," I say, my voice cracking. "What happened? I don't know," she sobs. "I made a mistake. A terrible mistake." I put the photograph back on the mantelpiece. "It's too late, Imogen," I say. "It's all over." I carry the box out to my car, the rain still pouring down. I don't look back. I drive away, leaving the house, the memories, the betrayal behind me. I don't know what the future holds, but I know one thing. I will never trust anyone as completely as I trusted Imogen. And maybe, just maybe, that's a good thing. I focused on rebuilding my life. I threw myself into my work, spending long hours coding and designing new software. I started exercising again, running along the Seattle waterfront, feeling the burn in my muscles and the wind in my hair. I reconnected with old friends, people I had neglected during my marriage. I even started taking a pottery class, something I had always wanted to do. One day, Bronte called me. "Jasper, I have something to tell you," she said, her voice serious. "What is it?" I asked, my heart pounding in my chest. "Remember Lysander's wife, Gwyneth?" "Yes," I said. "What about her?" "She wants to meet you," Bronte said. "She's going through a tough time and she thinks you might understand." I hesitated. I didn't know if I was ready to face the wife of the man who had destroyed my marriage. But something told me I should meet her. Maybe we could find solace in each other's shared pain. We met at a small coffee shop in downtown Seattle. Gwyneth was a beautiful woman with kind eyes and a gentle smile. But I could see the sadness in her face, the weariness in her posture. She had been through hell just like me. We talked for hours, sharing our stories of betrayal, heartbreak, and resilience. We discovered that we had a lot in common. We both loved art, music, and long walks in nature. We both valued honesty, loyalty, and compassion. Over the next few months, Gwyneth and I became close friends. We spent time together exploring the city, going to concerts, and sharing our hopes and dreams. I found myself drawn to her warmth, her intelligence, her unwavering optimism. She made me laugh again, something I hadn't done in a long time. One evening, as we were walking along the beach at sunset, I stopped and turned to her. "Gwyneth," I said, "I know this might be too soon, but I have to tell you something. I'm falling in love with you." Her eyes widened. "Jasper," she said, I feel the same way." We kissed, the waves crashing around us, the sky ablaze with color. It was a moment of pure magic, a moment of hope amidst the darkness. I don't know what the future holds for Gwyneth and me, but I know that I'm grateful for her presence in my life. She has shown me that it's possible to love again, even after the most devastating betrayal. She has reminded me that life is full of beauty, even in the midst of pain. As for Imogen, I haven't seen her since that day at the house. I heard through the grapevine that she's struggling, that she's lost her job, her friends, her reputation. I don't feel any joy in her misfortune. I just feel sad. Sad for the woman she used to be, sad for the life we could have had. But I also know that I can't save her. She has to save herself, and me, I'm moving on, I'm healing. I'm building a new life, a life filled with love, joy, and hope. And for the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm finally free.